The highly anticipated sequel to Sharon Draper's beloved award winning novel Out of My Mind about a brilliant 11-year-old girl who will not let cerebral palsy hold her down. Sharon, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm delighted to be here this morning.
Uh, we're delighted to have you too. So, Out of My Mind was named one of Time's 100 most influential books of all time and has appeared in over 40 state award reading lists. Did that pressure did that put pressure on you when you were writing the sequel?
No, because I don't write for awards. I don't write for accolades. I write because there's a story in me that has to be told. That's really at the very bottom of my list of things I consider when I'm writing a story. And I received so many hundreds and hundreds of requests to write a sequel to Out of My Mind. And I always said I wasn't going to, but I finally did because I had a year at home with nothing to
Like a lot of people, definitely.
do.
Now, your fans, your fans have waited over 10 years for the sequel. Why did you decide to revisit the story now?
Um, well, things have changed in the world of um, as we consider as a society those with handicapping conditions. And terminology has changed, opinions have changed, acceptance has expanded, um, and everyone is on a different plane now. So it was time to bring in a book with the new sensibilities for this generation of readers.
Now, are you surprised at how powerful an impact Melody's story has on young people?
I've received literally thousands of letters and emails from young people saying, you know, they love the book and they love the story and how compelling it was. Because if you are able bodied, you don't really think about what it's like to not be able to do normal things like run and play and slide down a sliding board. And so I gave her that voice so that everybody who has a condition can be recognized and appreciated.
Now, Sharon, who are the real heroes in Melody's story?
Um, I think the fact that she makes friends in this book, in the sequel, she makes friends. Melody has never had a friend. She's almost 13 years old and she's never had a friend. Because how do you make a friend with someone in a wheelchair who can't walk or talk? But since everybody at the camp has some sort of condition, they're all on a level playing field. And for the first time, she's away from home, she's away from all of her support system, and she makes friends. And that made me happy.
Now, how did you research, how did your research help you to capture the unique aspects of a special needs camp?
There are, believe it or not, special needs camps all over the country in every single state. Um, and nobody really knows about them except the parents of those kids that need it, and you find it when you need it. So there's a camp in Cincinnati that I'm familiar with. I visited camps in Florida. So the camps are there. There are camps for just about any condition that you can think of that a person might have, because we are in the kind of world now where we recognize differences and we find a place for those differences.
Man, you're right. It's about time, too. Now, Sharon, you were a middle school teacher for over 25 years. How did that impact your writing?
I think because I was a teacher, I understand how young people react to books. Uh, Big, thick books with large vocabulary does not make the world, it doesn't make them excited. These are kids that live on their phones and, they do little bitty emails and Twitter and whatever else is out there. I don't even know all the new apps that the kids are on, but their world I really don't. But their world is fast moving, very quick, very fast. And I'm aware of that. So I write for a world of young people who are extremely knowledgeable, who are able to contact the rest of the world just through their phone, through their little devices. And so I wrote it for that generation and for the other generation, the older people who need to understand what it's like to be a child.
Now, what is Melody's message to young people?
I try not to do a message. And when students ask me, what's the message? I say, well, what did you get from it? And they say, oh, I got this. I said, well, that was the message. So whatever the reader finds and gets from the story is what I intended for them to get. Um, if I plan something, it's the wrong purpose. So I just put it out there and the readers find the message.
Sharon Draper, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend and talking about your sequel to Out of My Mind, Out of My Heart, which is very interesting. I thank you so much for sending me both books. I do plan to read them.
Well, I think you'll enjoy. Read the first one first, and
I
then
will, Out of My mind.
give both of them to a young person that you love.
I will do that. I promise you that. Sharon, thank you again for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you for having me.